Welcome to another conversation with the Apostate Sisters. I'm Patty, and I make this podcast with my sister Nancy. Over the holidays season, we were lucky enough to get to spend time together in person. So we had spent 4 years actually apart after last seeing each other for a trip to India in December 2019. Then you may remember something happened that caused a bit of chaos on planet Earth. And so we actually haven't seen each other for that long. But we were so excited to get to be together. And of course, we do what we do. And we had some fun going through a Bible quiz that we found on the Freedom from Religion website. When I say some fun, I mean hours and hours of fun going through this quiz. So we're breaking up the content into what will hopefully be more palatable chunks. So 100% you need to know there are spoilers in here. So if you want to do the quiz for yourself, you could do it before, or you could do it along with us, because we're going to answer the questions. We're going to rant. We're going to get a little raunchy. So anyway, if you want to follow along with us or do it ahead of listening to this, go ahead and go to ffrf.org/Bible quiz. That is the Freedom from Religion Foundation's website, and that will take you directly to the start of the quiz. The next 4 weeks here at the Apostate Sisters may leave you laughing or crying, but hopefully also more informed about the good book that has guided and bludgeoned so many for millennia. We'll be coming at it from our perspectives, having escaped from the Worldwide Church of God, a doomsday cult, and also having deconstructed from evangelical mind control. So, get ready to get mad or to nod your head in agreement as we launch into part 1 of Freedom from Religion Foundation's Bible Quiz.
Okay.
Okay, I have lights on. Do you have lights on?
Both
I don't
lights?
know.
There's two
lights.
white lights.
Yeah, we're good. Let's see. So if I
testy.
testy. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Testicle.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1,
3.
2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
That's gonna be fun.
What am I? The first one? Oh, yes.
Yeah, you're the red mic. I'm the orange mic.
Bomb as fuck. We're able to record this. Hello, Pats. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. I'm even better because you're here today.
Yay, I'm visiting. Yes.
Yeah.
This is great, recording together. And we have something a little more fun today. I know we've been covering a lot of very heavy topics lately, which are obviously much needed. But in this case, I thought we would do something a little different and super fun. So I used to live in Madison, Wisconsin for a great number of years, and they have this great organization called Freedom from Religion Foundation. Their focus is on, the separation of church and state, or in a broader sense, separation of religion and government. And I remember checking out their website, and they have this really fun quiz on there about Bible knowledge. It is not your average G-rated, oh, what did Saul do in this case? A blah, blah, blah. No, it is a bomb-ass quiz that we are going to take together. And so, let's just have fun with it. I mean, this is straight up Bible knowledge. I mean, people can contest it all they want to, but this is what's in the book, and just have fun with it. Trust me. It's been a few years since I've done it, but I remember it being a lot of fun. So let's go through it together.
Oh, good. All right.
Yes. Yeah, so you would just go on their website. It's FFRF.org. And right on the main page, they have take a quiz option. And then, you just go through every single question, and then we'll give you the correct answer. It's a lot of quirky stuff, too. But it will give you the Bible passages.
Should we consider this a spoiler alert?
Yes, if you don't want the answers to the quiz, or you can follow along, or maybe you want to take the quiz first, however you want to do it. But we are going to be giving answers right off the bat. So,
all right,
answers.
So it looks like, all right, we're clicked in. Looks like the title is "What Do You Really Know About the Bible?" Emphasis mine.
Yes, all that fun stuff that a lot of people like to brush off in the Bible. It's in here.
But you know what? There are so many people deciding that they need to just like full on live by what the Bible is saying.
Yeah.
That I feel like it's kind of worth knowing what it's saying.
Yes.
All of what it's saying.
But if we want to take it literally, there are some very questionable things in the Bible. And this quiz, I guarantee it will capture it. And some of it is absolutely hilarious. So
amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this.
Well, I am ready too. Let's do it.
So we're on the landing page here. It says, the Bible is the bestseller that is rarely read. How much do you actually know about the so-called good book? All right. We've got 50 questions. And okay, the quotations are going to come from the King James Version. Oh, great.
Okay. Question number 1. What is the last of the 10 commandments? Is it don't steal, don't covet your neighbor's wife and property, don't boil a young goat in the milk of its mother, or love your neighbor as yourself? What is the last of the 10 commandments? What do you think, Pads?
Well, I'm going to say that I think it would be lovely if love your neighbor as yourself was even in the 10 Commandments. But I'm going to say that I don't believe it is. And I think don't covet your neighbor's wife and property. I'm not sure why they said wife and property, because I think a wife is property. But, you know.
Well, yeah.
I guess she's got some special things about her. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. All right. So
I think I remember the answer to this one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, wait, what? No, that's not true.
Yes. Okay. Well,
What? Okay, I was wrong.
Okay,
it's
Pets.
not don't covet. What the fuck? No.
Yep.
Okay, this says okay, the last of the 10 Commandments is actually don't boil a young goat in the milk of its mother. And we talked about that.
We talked about this.
food.
Yeah. In our last podcast
What?
or the second one.
Okay. All right. So this comes from Exodus 34:26 with is the official 10th commandment from the only set of stone tablets that were called the 10 Commandments. Oh my gosh, really?
Yep.
Okay, this is saying there was 3 sets of commandments. Okay, the first one when Moses came down from Mount Sinai.
With
Oh,
commandments.
it
yes.
says that he recited a list. Ha! So the stone tablet thing is not actually how it happened. Well, actually, like it was real, but
Yes.
isn't that crazy? Okay, first there's stories in the Bible made up,
Yes.
and then we as people can't like take in the fact that they're the same stories said like 3 times in there and it's all slightly different. So we just come up with one story that's sort of an amalgamation of all of them, and then we repeat it often enough from the pulpit that we all know it, and then holy fuck, now we're looking at the actual words and it's not what we've thought this whole time.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so when Moses came down from Mount Sinai, he did not have stone tablets. It says the first set of stone tablets was given to Moses at a subsequent trip up the mountain. In this farcical story, okay, I'm glad they said that. Moses petulantly destroyed those tablets when he saw the people worshiping the golden calf. Okay, that's part of the movie. This is my reference right now is the
Yes.
movie. The 10 Commandments. All right, so then he goes back for a replacement. I knew this. I did know this.
Really? He went back for a replacement? Seriously, I never heard this story.
Yeah, I remember this from like YES lessons. That I do remember. Oh my God, look at this old English. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the actual passage, Exodus 34:1. Hew thee 2 tablets of stone, unlike unto the first, and I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables, which thou breakest. Thank goodness for KJV. So this is what it's saying is the 10 commandments that were actually on the stone tablets in the story, not the ones that we all think it is. So it's 1, thou shalt worship no other God. 2, thou shalt make thee no molten gods. 3. The feast of unleavened bread shalt thou keep. What? Okay, this is not what is, like, of all the places, like courthouses and whatnot that have the 10 Commandments on them, it is not these.
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm going to keep going.
Isn't this fascinating?
Yes.
I remember there being all kinds of quirky things in this quiz. That's why I thought it'd be fun to go through.
Yeah. Number 4. 6 days thou shalt work, but on the 7th day thou shalt rest. Okay, that one's in the ones we think of. Yeah. Number 5. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Weeks. Number 6. Thrice in the year shall all your men children appear before the Lord God. That wasn't in the one we all expect.
Right.
Number 7, thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leaven. With leaven.
Like,
so not
leavened bread?
I guess. Yeast?
Yeah, yeast.
The blood of, I don't understand.
Offer the blood of my sacrifice with, with bread?
Oh, okay. So no meat and bread on the altar?
No meat and bread on the altar together?
Maybe? Okay. Wow. Yeah. We have no idea what we are talking about when we think we know what the Hebrew people were like. Oh my God.
No, not a clue.
We need to fuck all the way off about that. Okay. Number 8. Neither shall the sacrifice of the feast of the Passover be left until the morning. All right. Well, don't leave meat to rot overnight. Good call.
No leftovers.
All right. Number 9. The first of the first fruits of thy land shall thou bring unto the house of the Lord thy God. Okay, the first harvest-ish stuff.
Oh,
offerings.
Is that what that means?
I think so.
First fruits is the first harvest?
First of the first fruits of thy land? Maybe it's the lamb.
Oh, okay.
Like the first lamb born of the year or something. I feel like that's like ringing a little bell in my head. Anyway, number 10, thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk.
That's fascinating.
Are you shitting me?
10 Commandments right there. Wow.
Okay, of all the things that a God of all with a perfect plan for humanity needs to convey, not boiling a goat or a sheep or lamb or whatever in its mother's milk is in the top 10.
Yeah.
Of the things we need to know, and no sexual assault isn't in there.
Essay,
I know. No, I mean, like, that doesn't even have no murder in there.
Well, I think we need to play a little George Carlin when that comes in. You remember his little skit about rewriting the 10 Commandments? He condensed it and said, I think there were a number of other things that he said. How about this? How about this? Yeah, it's really good. But here, let me read this at the bottom here. It says, keep this in mind next time you are tempted to boil a goat. This list differs, obviously, from the one in Exodus 20. Was God's memory faulty? But it is only this list that is called the 10 Commandments. And he wrote upon the tables the words of the covenant, the 10 Commandments, Exodus 34:28. Yeah.
Holy
okay,
moly.
that is question number 1, Pat.
All right, well, we're going to be here a long time.
I told you. Oh, and then it gives you an explanation of the others, too, saying don't steal. Well, obviously, that's the wrong answer. Don't covet your neighbor's wife and property. This is actually the final commandment as listed in Exodus 22 through 17, the version often used by Protestants and Catholics. However, these are not the 10 Commandments. Right. And then in quotations it says, notice the biblical sexism. Women are the property of men. Well, no shit. We knew that. Yeah. And then, love your neighbor as yourself. Even Jesus was unclear about the exact set of commandments. I mean, in Matthew, let's say 19:18 through 19, he has something different.
Better live by those 10 Commandments, y'all.
Yes. Well, I give absolute props to whoever put this quiz together. I'm sure it was a number of different people, but it's so good.
Makes me think I should actually woman up, pull up my big girl panties, and read the fucking Bible again.
I keep telling myself that, too, and I'm like, but why? Yes.
All right. Question
All right.
2?
Question 2. That was only question 1.
my God.
And there are 50 fucking questions.
And I
in
know
this.
it's just going to get gross from here, too.
I know. Okay, question number 2. What is the penalty for working on the Sabbath? How perfect is this, since we just did podcast episode number 3 about the Sabbath? Will you be stoned to death? Neither you...
I'm sorry.
Neither you nor your offspring to the 5th generation can enter the tabernacle. You should sacrifice 2 unblemished she-goats, or you will be disinherited from the kingdom. What is the penalty for working on the Sabbath? I think it's the second one. What do you think? Neither you nor your offspring to the 5th generation can enter the tabernacle.
Well, I'm kind of confused about the you'll be stoned to death, because I get stoned a lot and I have not died.
It's good bets.
Oh. I feel like it's the stoned to death one.
You might be right. Let's see. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what they say. There's something weird about being stoned to death a lot.
Oh, I was right. I
You're
was right.
Okay, you want to read it?
Okay. They're so snarky on this side.
I know. They're great people over there.
Oh my gosh. This is like it just like tickles my funny bone so much. Hits me in the giggle dick. Hits me. Shout out Jenna Marbles. Okay. All right. You will be stoned to death. So don't pick up that extra shift, y'all. So they're questioning, isn't this excessively violent from a good book and a good God, and what is the harm in working on the Sabbath, and noting that the only thing it really is causing a problem with is getting in the way of all that worship time that the Almighty is demanding of his people.
I like their term here, ego of the sovereign who demands respect with no respect to human needs.
Oh my gosh.
They're not wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
That was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be so good.
Moving on to question 3.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. Question 3. It says, what is God's name? Is it jealous, righteous, holy, or Jehovah? Pat, I actually remember a lot of these, so I'm just going to let you answer since I feel like I know a lot of the answers. Yeah, go for it.
I think this one's jealous.
And I think you're right.
You know what I think? I think we're going to know more of these things, because I think the evangelicals didn't know all this, because they like fluffied it up, made it all sugary nice, and took out and covered up the bad shit. And our growing up was like, here's all the bad shit, and isn't that cool? Now be afraid of this God.
Yes. It was
Right?
a weapon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it's jealous. God's name is jealous.
And I agree. Let's see.
Yeah,
Yep.
we were right.
Oh, that's funny. It says, this is a pretty self-described insecurity from a supposedly all-wise leader. The actual passage is Exodus 34:14. Thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Damn. And he
Well, that's weird.
doesn't even deny it. Interesting. They have the word Jehovah as one of the options. I'm just curious what they say here. They say the name Jehovah is a Christian mistake. It was forbidden to pronounce the name Yahweh, and readers of the Hebrew scriptures were supposed to say Adonai
Adonai.
in its place. Okay.
Isn't that funny?
Huh.
And I think Jewish folks still, at least particular ones, still will not pronounce the name Yahweh.
It says the incorrect hybrid Jehovah arose from Christian misunderstanding in the late Middle Ages. Isn't that just interesting? Harper's Bible Dictionary. Okay. His name is jealous. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, question number 4. How should parents treat a stubborn and rebellious son? Good God. Should he be beaten 7 times with a whip made of horsehair? Should he be stripped and humiliated at the gate of the city? Should he be expelled from the family? Or should he yet be stoned to death.
I totally think it's stoned to death.
It might be because it seems like Mr. Jealous God here loves that form of punishment. So
I mean, there's no room for getting better.
Yes. No, it's just pure punishment in like the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess let's see.
Okay. So we think stoned to death.
Sure, let's try it. Well, yeah, go ahead and answer. And we're right.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh. I feel like I just read this at some point recently.
Okay, what constitutes a stubborn and rebellious son? What could they possibly do that a son should be stoned to death? Isn't that every fucking kid throughout existence? Because children are still getting to know their emotions. They don't know how to handle it. They don't understand things about the world yet. And you're telling me someone who wants to be rebellious, which is all of us, we're just going to stone them to death?
Well, yeah, we're all looking for autonomy, especially in our teen years.
Why aren't we all dead then? Jesus. It says, this cruelly excessive Mosaic law was actually enforced at one time by the Massachusetts colony and has been used to justify child abuse and murder. Absolutely.
Let me tell you what. I feel like this country got started with the absolute religious nutter butters, to use a internet word, the absolute most extreme fundamentalists in Europe. Like, I think Europe was becoming more secular, more like the enlightenment, right, stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they were feeling like their conservative ways weren't liked and they were off to find a place. So it's like, honestly, I feel like this country was established by religious extremists.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
No, it really was. And then a lot of Christians today will use it kind of under the guise of, oh, they escaped religious persecution in Europe. Like, okay, well, if you think that's the case, well, then they came over here and they started religiously persecuting others. So the cycle went on and on. It just...
Religious persecution? Well, that's what they say. All the Christian evangelicals like act like they're being persecuted right now.
Oh, absolutely they do, yeah.
So what if it was the same then? Like everyone else was like moving on. Mm-hmm. We're ready to see life as it is because we have science now. Yes. And the religious people were like, you're persecuting me. The Bible told me you would do this.
Yes,
because that's the fucking game they play, and it's one of the thought stopping techniques.
Yeah,
right. Like, you're being persecuted for this, so therefore it must be right, and so it stops you from questioning a whole bunch of things.
That you're spot on about that. Yeah, and this makes perfect sense.
Wow,
this passage is absolutely disgusting. Yeah, and they know about it. They just brush it off. Look at here are the passages, and it says, and he that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. Exodus 21:17. Oh, there's just
but you like a society literally won't move forward then,
right? Well, it hasn't been like your daughter said earlier. Society seems to be a good 1,000 years behind where we should be, because these archaic ideas in the Bible are still controlling people. And we could be much further along as a society.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. But we're getting there, Pat. I feel like society's getting there.
Yeah, we'll shuck it off, but God, religion has some serious claws.
Yeah, we're only 5 questions in. Oh, geez. You know what? I know this one, too. Okay, question 5. What happens if you are not a virgin on your wedding night? Does your father have to pay 100 shekels of silver to your husband? You can never approach the altar. You must dress in black and leave your husband for 1 year. Okay. Or... Geez, what a surprise on this one. You will be stoned to death.
Okay, I'm tempted by the 100 shekels.
Yes.
Because it was basically a really important livestock transaction back then.
Isn't that disgusting?
Yeah. Super gross.
So if a woman is raped...
I just imagine the conversations, like looking at all the livestock and the girls as like someone's there to buy some stuff. And
gross.
talking about the differences, well, you can fuck any of them, but that one will produce babies.
Oh my God, gross. That's terrible. But again, you're
that too far?
probably correct.
Is that too far?
No, you're not. It still happens today. Isn't that gross? But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it will be stoned to death because, again, I feel like that's just who God is.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the solution for everything. Just stone them to death.
I'm going to say good. If it is, kudos to the Freedom from Religion Foundation for putting 3 questions in a row that are all you will be stoned to death because it's comedic genius.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, it is. It paints you a picture for sure. All right, let's take a look.
I mean, comedic in the sense that it's horrible because that's probably really what happened. Oh,
and
my
it's
fucking God.
correct.
So... All right, so if you were not a virgin on your wedding night. Now it says what happens if you are not a virgin on your wedding night, but let's just be clear, that's not the full question. The question is what happens if you're not a virgin on your wedding night and you're a woman.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. Nobody's checking anything on a dude.
So my question is, does she get married first and then get stoned to death, or she's just stoned to death so she can't get married? I guess it's wedding night, so I mean, instead of what?
So
getting plowed by her husband, she gets just stoned to death.
Well,
instead.
and let's talk about how they're going to find this out. They're going to find this out. Why? Because he's reaching up there and he's like, "Oh, not tight enough." I mean, what is happening here to acknowledge that this is the case,
right? Right,
and I wouldn't surprise me if girls figured out a particular, really long stone was kind of nice up there. I'm just saying nature dildos are a thing. So this,
yes.
We have records of dildos things from this. Is this too far?
No, that's really funny because I actually read an article the other day. It popped up in my feed. It must know what I like to read. The title of it was The World's Oldest Dildo, and it legit was this phallic stone looking thing. I'm like, okay, there's no question about what that was used for. So, I mean, you cannot fucking tell me women weren't horny back then too. Right. Especially in that day and age where women could not go around just having the freedom of having sex and no judgments following, right?
As far as we can tell, yeah. And I do think that's consistent with the historical record too.
Yeah. I mean, are people seriously telling me that Mary and Joseph did not get it on and she got pregnant? I mean, give me a fucking break. Or
it's a story.
She had sex with somebody else and she's like, "Oh shit, my husband caught me and I have to make up a story." Guess what? God came to me. He did it. And then it started from there. I mean, there's that shit.
I mean, but this story is older than Jesus.
I know this is
Immaculate Conception thing is way older than Jesus. Right.
Yeah, barbaric punishment. It says, it actually is still being followed by some parts of the Muslim world. They Sharia law, right? Still advocates for a lot of this type of stuff.
I mean, give Christians enough time to decide what they need to do. Not pretty.
It also points out here, there's no penalty, of course, for a groom who's not a virgin. It's always been about the woman. But again, I bring up the point, so a woman is raped before her marriage. It doesn't seem to make a difference.
No. If she's raped, she has to marry him.
In some cultures, even today, that is definitely the case. Yeah. Let's see. It also says the fact that Christian women who have engaged in premarital sex are not being stoned to death today shows that even believers recognize cruelty and absurdity in their own book. But
right. Even the fundamentalists, the most fundamentalist of the fundamentalists here, like Westboro Baptist, I don't think they're doing things like that. I mean, obviously, well, you can't. I mean, there's laws against, stoning people all willy-nilly.
Yes.
For working on Saturday, getting a little D before the ring.
Well, then you know what Christians normally say. You know what? We do what we can.
Or mouthing off to your parents.
Oh, yeah.
All good ways to get stoned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Now I just go to the dispensary. It's amazing.
Yes. Right? Should we go to the next one?
Let's see if there's a fourth way that we can get stoned.
I feel like there is.
Oh, not this time. Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, question number 6. What does the Bible say about witches? Witches should be killed. They are people possessed by demons and they are forever damned. They can be saved if they are exorcised or are part of the mythology of idolatrous tribes. What do you think, Pats?
Oh, I mean, it's witches should be killed.
I think it is too. Isn't that a passage like, suffer not a witch to live?
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. And led to King James himself writing, commissioning, championing, I think he maybe actually wrote it, a book called Malleus Maleficarum.
Yes, I read about that. Oh, I keep meaning to read that book too.
Yeah, it's basically here's how to find witches and here's how to murder them.
Right.
Yeah, it was gross. Well, he was super paranoid, King James was. Currently, historians think that he may have had like a paranoia disorder.
Okay.
Because he was convinced that there were witches everywhere trying to cast spells to take him out of power.
Really?
Yeah, he was a little fucked up.
That's weird.
Because he was the King of Wales or something. And then when the King of England, or Queen, not sure, died, he was the next, like, distant relative in line. So then he took over being the King of England. And he was, like, super paranoid about losing his power.
I've never read that history.
Yeah, so he was the one to very much spread the like, witch fear. Yeah. And then it became an excuse for people to get rid of the creepy old ladies that, like, begged in town.
Or these so-called harlots, too.
Yep.
Anyone that they deemed not fit. You know, this reminds me of that movie, The Crucible. Crucible, however you say it, yeah. Daniel Day-Lewis. Ugh, it was about, like, I think Salem witch trials. Really put it in perspective. I wonder how many people, women especially, had to die because of this, you know, rumor that started. You know, there was a vampire craze, I think around the same time, too, where they were worried that people were vampires and literally started killing people in this crazy craze. It's like the satanic panic or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, people freak out over this shit. Oh, the devil.
Well, yeah, I feel like satanic panic was that, like, same energy coming back through.
Yes.
This is just my personal spirituality thing that is not real, not scientific in any way. And I do not have proof of it. It's just fun to think about.
Yeah.
But I like to think that, like, what if it, you know, there's some small planet or star or something that, like, has an orbit to it. And, like, every time it swings past us, we're getting a wave of this energy. And it's, like, witch energy or something, or, like, witch paranoia energy somehow. That's how it, like, translates to planet Earth. And so I feel like, you know, something that's really big and poignant, like the witch trials way back when, maybe it comes back again and it's, like, silly things that we do, like satanic panic.
Holy shit, I'm over here like, okay, you're getting stoned, aren't you? I need to go get some wine, I think.
Oh, no.
And there she goes.
I think about these things stone cold sober, too.
Nice. Stone cold sober. Yes.
All right.
Oh, man.
Well,
okay, so witches was a thing in, I'm assuming the Old Testament this was from?
I don't know, actually. Let's
Bible,
find out.
I should say. Okay. Yep.
Okay, witches should be killed. Yes,
correct.
thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Oh, yep, Exodus, Old Testament.
Yep, Old Testament.
Hebrew
Okay.
Bible. Yep.
It's been around since then. And it says, unfortunately, tragically, tens of thousands, if not millions, of innocent women in Europe and the American colonies were cruelly accused, tortured, and executed because of one single Bible verse. It is Exodus 22:18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Holy
my God.
shit.
Oh my God.
And once again, the method of killing them is to stone them to death. Look at that.
So we found it. 4 ways to get stoned.
4 ways to get stoned. Outstanding. Okay.
That would be an amazing way to get attention on a YouTube video. 4 ways to get stoned. But it's about the Bible.
Shit. Where's my wine? I need to drink for this one. Oh. Okay. Here we
might
go
not be.
back to dietary restrictions. So question number 7, which of these foods does the Bible expressly permit you to eat? In quotations, the others are abominations. Is it pork, shellfish, locusts, or rabbit? I mean, we both know the answer to this one.
It's locusts.
Yes, locusts is the one you can eat.
Yum, yum, crunchy.
So, no rabbit, no shellfish, no pork. Locusts. Yeah.
Do it up.
Your joke, the grasshopper poppers. It was great.
Actually, I do think insects should be a part of a sustainable human diet, but we'll get there.
Well, a good protein. I have eaten live termites, actually.
Live. Ooh, lemony,
Yes.
right?
I was down in Mexico for some little Mayan excursion, and in the jungle, they were teaching us about, survival stuff. And you just lick your finger, you grab some termites out of a log, and you eat them. They taste like carrots. They taste like raw carrots. Like, exactly. Yes.
Yummy. Do their legs wiggle on against your tongue?
Oh, God, I don't remember. I think I was drunk on tequila the entire trip to Mexico, so.
Oh, I've got to add something about the rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is saying, and the coney, which I don't know who calls it a coney, but in Spanish, rabbit is conejo, so that's funny.
What the
All
fuck's a coney?
A rabbit.
It's supposed to be a rabbit?
Apparently.
Oh, okay. What does that say?
I'm going to do this.
Sorry.
So it's saying rabbit, because it chews the cud, but doesn't have a divided hoof, is unclean. But it says the Bible writers erroneously thought rabbits chew the cud. Because, so here's what, remember we talked about what they do?
Yes.
Do is they eat their do?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they poop and it's all gooey, barely digested, and they turn around and eat their poo again.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just always chewing more grass.
Yeah. Okay.
Or their own poo.
There is yet another scientific mishap in the Bible. Yeah.
Not quite as good as bats being birds, but
Yeah, that one was pretty amazing. But wow.
Yep.
Paz.
It's good.
Isn't that something? An all-knowing, all-seeing God got that shit wrong. Dude.
Maybe he categorizes things differently, in ways that don't make sense.
Yeah.
And it's because he said so.
It's because he's trying to test us, Pats. That's why, he
Gotta test our faith.
He put dinosaurs on Earth to test our faith too. I've heard that one actually. No, not kidding. Okay.
What kind of God only wants people that know how to swallow bullshit? I don't get it.
He likes slaves. All right, here we go. Question number 8. When the Israelites conquered the Midianites, what part of the spoils of war was given to the priest as the Lord's tribute? Was it 50,000 sheep, 30,000 asses, 32,000 cows, or 32 virgins?
My head said foreskins right away.
Mine said foreskins too, and I think that's a different passage.
It's a different
in this.
one. I think it's the 32 virgins because that's objectively the grossest one of this. Unless by asses they mean, butt stuff.
God's butt stuff. Yeah, let's see.
We're so going to hell for this episode.
Well, we might get 32 virgins when we get there.
I don't really want 32 virgins because 32 fumbling teenage boys does not sound okay to me.
Oh my gosh. You can train them, Pats. We'll be a couple MILFs getting... It is 32 virgins, okay.
Yep, 30.
Look at what they said.
Okay, I would like to point out, all right. Here's the passage. I know this is translated to English, but it says booty.
Yep.
That the 32,000 virgins were kept alive as booty for God's warriors.
That's so good. 32 young captives were handed to the priest. Oh my God. Really?
So it sounds like, war crimes are cool.
Yes,
with
absolutely. God is an absolute fucking dictator. Like it says, absolute war crimes, crimes against humanity. And that's supposedly the God that created all this. Okay.
I mean, he made us,
beautiful.
so he can take us out too.
Oh my goodness.
He can do whatever he wants to us because he gave us life.
So that's like saying parents can do whatever they want to their children.
There are parents who think they can.
God.
Instead of realizing they created autonomous humans.
Wow. Nice.
All right.
All right. Next one, question number 9. What is the origin of the mighty men, giants, known as the Nephilim?
Yes,
I remember the Nephilim. Okay, they were the offspring of God's angels and young women. They were the result of an earlier botched creation. They were monsters from the evil nation of Nephthih. They were part of the blessing of Abraham that ensured military victory to God's chosen people.
The Nephilim were the offspring of God's angels and young women.
I think it's the second one, result of an earlier botched creation. No, you might be right. Let's see.
I feel confident in my answer.
Okay, that's fine. Yep, you're correct. Okay.
Here's the passage. Genesis 6, 1 through 4.
Ooh, Genesis.
Yeah, right away. I mean, if you're going to have like weird offspring of various angelic deity, like what's the name for that kind of being? Like spiritual being? Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have like offspring of spiritual beings and you know, like demigod kind of stuff.
I was going to say demigod or like nymphs and shit, like half
right.
Sort of weird.
I mean, so if you're going to do that, like that's definitely going to be earlier in the story.
Well, right. And Genesis is the most mythological for sure. So,
I mean, because we're basically at, what is it? Kronos and his, there was some Greek mythology where they produced a race of children, like, what was it? Rhea, Gaia, and Kronos or something? I'm totally fucking up who it is.
They were Titans.
Well, there wasn't just the Titans.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Titans were basically giants.
Yeah.
But there was also like a race of like gross, one-eyed, lumbering...
Cyclops.
They weren't, I know, but they weren't the Cyclops. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm just remembering that there was a very similar Greek mythological story that very much sounds like the Nephilim. But we see that over and over. We still do it.
Even in Egyptian mythology. Yeah.
We're still, yes. Adding on to and retelling and blending and all of that. The stories we're cycling right now. They were doing the same damn thing then.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they had less distractions back then. All they had were the things that they wrote, That was their entertainment.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, this says, some suggest this is why Paul admonished Christian women to keep their heads covered in church so as not to sexually tempt the angels.
Oh, my God. Gross.
All right.
Because angels can't control their own bodies, right? Just like men can't control their own bodies. Is that how it works, really?
Well, what is the movie? Dogma?
Oh, I haven't seen that one. But somebody told me to watch it.
Yeah, you would. Oh, my God. I think you would enjoy it. Yeah. In the movie Dogma, there was an angel, and there was something said about fucking somebody. And he pulls down his pants and he's smooth like a Barbie doll. So somebody's got the idea that angels are very asexual or non-whatever, but not according to the Bible. Seems like angels are freaky deaky.
Yeah, well, and they were able to do whatever they wanted.
Thanks for joining us for part 1 of our Bible quiz series. We hope that you're as excited as we are to delve into the questions and the revelations that lie ahead. So, buckle up, dear listeners, for a ride filled with laughter, insight, and our healthy dose of skepticism. Until next time, this is Patty and Nancy, the Apostate Sisters, signing off.